So being a teacher in the year 2026 is something that is definitely not easy. And we hear things in the news all the time, all about all the negative stuff in education, why you shouldn't be a teacher, all the bad things that are going on. And it's definitely out there, right? Like we're always being flooded with negative information about education. But I was really thinking this week about why would anybody want to be a teacher? Why as professionals, why would we tell young people, hey, you want to have a good career, you should be a teacher? And I really do think this is a great career. I think it's a great career. It's a great profession. So I want to break down some of the top reasons why I think you should become a teacher. So the other day when I got home from teaching, I was doing my classic decompression in my car and scrolling TikTok. And I was just kind of doom scrolling, just going through things. And I came across this video. And this video really made me feel some type of way, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I think it did a great job showing me again as to why it is a great profession being a teacher, why being a teacher is such a great profession. So let's watch this video together.
I woke up at the good time today for school, so I didn't miss the bus.
Someone told me that my hair looked really pretty today. There was a new girl at school today, and I think I made a new friend, so yeah.
I got 100% on my German test today.
Thank you. I think the best part of my day today was seeing all my teachers like come to school and be happy to see us and like smiling.
We went to Pilates this morning.
I finally got a girlfriend.
A good thing that happened to me today was Ms. Gates, she complimented my artwork.
I got to sleep in until like noon yesterday, and I watched a movie with my mom, and it was a really good day.
And I got my braces off recently.
Let's do it together. Let's do it together.
Yeah. I have been more hanging out with my family, friends.
Something that happened to me that was good recently was that me and my sister are actually kind of getting along now, and like we're not arguing as much as we used to.
It's my birthday, and people have been really nice.
I found out one of my new passions, and it's wrestling. Go wrestling.
I've been having a great relationship with my mom, because back then we used to argue a lot. We could never like be around each other, but now that I'm more open with her, we talk more. Like if we're in an argument, we talk about it instead of just shutting each other out.
My good thing is basketball season starts today.
My good thing is I have all A's.
Miss Stelter said she missed me.
I facilitated a Bible study that went well.
I found my stats on for football. I figured out I had like over 500 rushing yards this season.
I've been happy lately. I found my happy place. I've been more like open to people more and like talkative recently. So yeah.
One good thing that happened to me today was I checked my grades, and I had all A's.
Have a volleyball banquet tonight.
I got a perfect score in my classes.
One good thing that happened was I got a new phone.
I get to go to open mats for wrestling today.
I made the basketball team.
And I finished my soccer season with a win.
I invited people to my church, and a ton of people showed up, which is exciting.
The other day I got to drive a manual car for the first time.
When I checked my report card, I have straight A's.
Something good that's happened to me recently was I got a new dog.
Something good that's happened to me recently is that I got better grades.
I got an A on a physics quiz I thought I failed.
And I love that video for so many different reasons. And one of the things that I think about during that video is how lucky are we as teachers to be able to experience kids go through those emotions every single day. You know, how lucky are we to have a profession where we get to be part of kids' lives? And, you know, there's a couple different kids in there that talked about parts of school being their, you know, the good thing that happened to them. And we have a profession where we can be those people, we can be those adults in those kids' lives that make them think, hey, that was a good day. Hey, something good happened to me. And that's just one of the reasons why I love being a teacher. And that's kind of my first point here is one of the great things about being a teacher and why you should be a teacher and why it's a good profession is you get to make an impact in kids' lives. And I know there's a lot of negatives about being a teacher. I totally get it. I know all the talking points. We all know all the talking points. But you still get to have an impact in kids' lives. And we are so lucky. There's a story that I often like to share when I give my keynotes. So I travel the country giving different keynotes, talking about things in education. And that story is about a person named Charles Plum. And he was a fighter jet pilot on the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk in the Vietnam War. And he talks about this story, how he survived war because as he was flying his fighter jet, he had to eject, and his parachute saved his life. And as years went by, all of a sudden one day somebody came up to him and said, "Hey, you're Charles Plum." And he said, "Yeah, I'm Charles Plum." And he had no idea who this person was. And the guy proceeds to tell them that, "Hey, I was the one who packed your parachute. I was the one who was sewing all the threads together. I was the one that packed it, and I was the reason essentially why you survived." And Plum began thinking about, oh my gosh, that's crazy. He never would have met that person. He never thought he was going to meet the person that changed his life. And it just kept eating at him, not eating at him in a bad way, but in a good way, just made him think about that. And that's where as teachers, we're packing people's parachutes, right? We have a profession and a job where we are helping students by packing their parachutes, and they are learning lessons from us, hopefully mostly positive lessons, and we are changing their lives. And will we ever know that we packed someone's parachute and changed their life? Probably not. We probably won't ever have those students come back and say, "Hey, you packed my parachute. Hey, you really helped me. You said something that changed my life, or you said something that motivated me." They probably won't ever tell us that, but we know we're packing parachutes. So one of the great things about being a teacher is we get to have an impact on students. Now, another reason why I love being a teacher and why I think other people should go into the profession is you get to be around people all the time. And that is awesome. You are not just stuck in a cubicle. You have constant interactions with people. And sometimes it is exhausting, right? It does get tiring, but it's great. I think about it all the time, how lucky I am to constantly be interacting with other teachers, with students, with parents, with people in the community. Having a job as a teacher is one where you are always interacting with people. So if you have the personality where you think about being in a cubicle as the worst thing ever, like me, I could never be in a cubicle. I would go insane. Well, maybe teaching is the right career for you because you get to have so much interaction with people. And I'm the type where if I'm having a bad day, what's really going to build me up is interacting with more people. I'm not the type who I like to just, be in a shell and be a hermit and just stay inside if I had a bad day. No, what fills my cup is being around people. So if you are looking for a career where you are fulfilled by being around people, man, look at going in education. Look at those kids in that video. Look at how many of them are smiling and happy about something. When you're a teacher, you're around students all the time, and you get to see so many of them on their best days, on their worst days, on their toughest days, on all the days. And there's just something that is great about it. There's something, if you're a people person, you're gonna love being a teacher, and it definitely is great. It's awesome. Now, my final point here about why you should become a teacher is the schedule. I'll be honest with you, summers off is awesome. Summers off is great. Anybody that says summers off isn't great, they're lying to you. I'm telling you, summers off is awesome. Being a teacher is a really hard job. There's a lot of negatives that come with it, but one of the biggest positives that come with it, summers off, okay? The teaching schedule is wonderful. It's great. You get every holiday off. That's awesome. Now, you won't ever have to work on the weekends as a teacher. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, I work on the weekends because I have a side job or a side hustle. Yep, most teachers do. Now, what's great about teaching is you don't have to teach on the weekends, usually. I'm sure there's an outlier. I'm sure there's somebody who will say, well, I teach on the weekends because I do this program. Okay, wonderful, great. But for the most part, you won't ever have to work on the weekends as a teacher. And then having all the holidays off is wonderful. It's great. It absolutely is. Now, there's a lot of people that are critical of teachers because they say, well, teachers get so much time off. That's why they should get paid so little. Okay, well, here's the thing. So do all federal employees. So do bankers. You know, teachers really kind of have the same schedule, minus summer break, the same schedule as most federal employees as well as bankers. We get the banker holidays off. You're seeing more and more companies now that are giving like a holiday reset or a holiday break or Christmas break to their employees, and they give them 2 weeks off from Christmas to New Year's. There's a lot of companies that are doing that because there's a lot of value in that. And we also get Thanksgiving off, which is awesome. You know, teachers will never have to work on a holiday as a teacher. So that's one of the things that I do love. Now, there are some issues with the teacher schedule. You know, not having a bunch of PTO is really challenging, but you also do get you get good breaks. You get all the federal holidays off, which is awesome. You know, it is really, really a great thing. But ultimately, for me, the number one reason why I think somebody should become a teacher is because you get to have an impact on young people. And how great is that? There are such few jobs where you get to have an impact on young people. And as a teacher, I look back at so many of my teachers that changed my life. And that's one of the reasons why I became a teacher, is because I wanted to give back as well. I look at how many teachers were so influential on me, and I want to be able to do that for students. And you know, there are bad teachers that are out there, totally get it. But if you think of some of the most influential people in your life, probably one or two or maybe even more of them were your teachers, which is awesome, which is so great. Now, the best of the best teachers are awesome. They're great. Are there obviously people who've had bad experience with teachers? Yes, they have, 100%. But there's also people that are in any profession that are bad at it, right? There's bad insurance people. There's bad door-to-door salesmen. There's bad financial advisors. There's bad construction workers. The list goes on and on. There's bad of every single profession. But the best teachers, I would argue, are some of the most influential people on this planet. So what do you think? Why do you think it's worth it for somebody to become a teacher? Let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you watching. Have a great night.